This is Project Audion, timeless audio dramas for modern times, created the classic way.
Hello, I'm Larry Groby with the Generic Radio Workshop. And this time we're going to reach back, way back in audio drama history, back to the earliest days of network radio. Our show this time is a lost show called Wayfaring Men. And almost nothing is known about it, which is really too bad because it's a fascinating premise. It was the story of the men and occasional women who were hoboes, who rode the rails and across America. And this was during the Great Depression, so it's very timely. But hang on a second. People have asked me at times, how do you do Project Audion? How does a show get created? And so I thought this would be an excellent opportunity to take you behind the scenes to see exactly how we do Project Audion. And then, at the end, you can see the finished product. Shall we? See what you think.
Now, you may or may not know, but Project Audion got its start during the pandemic because we couldn't get actors together with audiences to perform. But we could do it each from our own house, in our own studio, and perform together virtually. This is my house now, and this is my home office, and I apologize if it's a bit of a mess, a bit cluttered, but this is where Project Audion gets its start. You know, stories start in many ways, and this one started with an eBay auction of a really obscure radio script from 1933, so obscure and that nobody knew anything about it that it went cheaply. I picked them up, and here they are.
All I could tell from the auction was that the show was called Wayfaring Men, and it was from 1933 and appeared to be a CBS program. But boy, there wasn't any information online about it. When the scripts arrived, they turned out to be, I ended up with 6 of them. 5 specific episodes and 1 audition script, apparently, from May, June, and July of 1933. We don't have a lot of information about this show. We can learn from these mimeographed originals that it was on CBS. It was a 15-minute show. There are some program listings online that said it was twice a week in the evenings at 9 o'clock. Variety gave it a very positive review in July, calling it a sustaining sketch show. But this is pretty much all the information otherwise we have. We don't have much, well, we certainly have no recordings. You know, back in 1933, radio was always done live. Recordings were only done because the technology was so primitive and expensive. They were only done if you were a sponsored show and you ended up with a disc, a big 16-inch transcription disc like this. And so we don't know what Wayfaring Men sounded like. Just have the scripts to go by. And we don't even know for sure who was cast in it. Now, we do know the name of the writer, and we can find some information about him. His name was Archie Coates. He was a romantic writer, if you will. He had a romantic streak a mile wide. He attended Columbia University in New York, and he was very active in the school's drama program there. And by 1918, he had published a promising book of free verse poetry called City Tides. But in a piece of publicity from about that time, it also claimed that he had, and I quote, worked in a bank, taught swimming, been on the stage, in the movies, in East Side politics, tutored Greek, farmed, superseded the Metropolitan Opera, done private plainclothes work, studied sculpture, spent 6 weeks on a camping and cycling trip in New York, spent time in the Ritz in London. He lives in New York in the winter and at other times occupies a solitary cabin in the woods with a piano, a canoe, a typewriter, and books for company. Whew! He was 27 when that was written, by the way. He subsequently worked for Vanity Fair, Life, the old one, and Literary Digest. And by 1930, he was earning a living working at CBS as a continuity writer. Apparently, Archie Coates never married, and he died in 1967 in Los Angeles. So Project Audion always starts with the script. And when I read through these, episode 8 seemed to be the most interesting and worth doing. It aired on Monday, June 26th, 1933 at 9 p.m. So I took this episode and I scanned it back there on my scanner and converted it with OCR into a Word document, which I have here. Spell checked it mostly. And then printed out a copy for myself so that I could mark up the sound cues, the music cues, and get a list of the parts that were going to be needed in this show. Because the next step in a Project Audion production is casting. Now, Audion has used close to 100 actors over the last 5 years at one time or another, and I have found that casting the right person for the right part is 90% of successful radio directing. I had some people in mind who I thought could do this, and fortunately, they seem to love doing it, so they all said yes. So we're all set with a cast ranging from Nova Scotia to Texas. The next step is planning the rehearsals and the Zoom gatherings, because we meet 3 times via Zoom to do this show. The final time, of course, is when we all get together to record it. Okay, live in one take, just like they did back in the golden days of radio. The time before that is our dress rehearsal, our chance to finalize the characters, to work with all the sound effects, to do the technical issues of cueing and making sure everybody knows what's happening when. The very first time we get together is a read-through. I'd call it a table read-through if there was a table that we were all gathered at. But via Zoom, we're all coming in for the first time from different places. Some of the actors have never met each other. Some are entirely new to Audion. We generally just have a good time learning the script, learning the ins and outs of the characters, getting to know each other, and working through it. We don't do the music or the sound effects, just the core of the drama. And here's a bit of how that first read-through went. You've all done shows, but you haven't done them together. So we ought to briefly say hi to everybody. You know, I'm here in Dallas, where I've lived for far too long, and will never leave unless global warming forces me out or something. So if I said Wayfaring Men and the music plays la-di-da-di-da, and by the way, David, everybody else knows I generally point when there's a serious cue to be dealt with. So, boom, your turn.
Wayfaring Men. I didn't like that. Hold on.
When we do Audion for real, when we record, we'll do it like it was 1933, i.e., we start, we keep going. There's no take 2. Okay, third time.
That was my radio TV voice. I didn't want that for this.
No.
Wayfaring Men. Oh, no sound effects? Okay.
No, go on. Yeah, continue from there.
Okay. Wayfaring Men. The story of the nameless thousands who shuttled endlessly across these United States, riding the rails, panhandling their food and shelter, an unknown army without a goal. When we last left our transient friends, the girl Faster and herself.
I'm sorry, that's a typo. That's Easter.
Easter, okay.
Okay, that's.
I thought that was a weird name.
It's a completely different girl.
I figured she was fast or something. I don't know. You know.
Well, after that read through, I sent a few notes off to the actors, and it's time to start preparing the sound effects and the music we'll need for our second gathering, which is the full rehearsal. Now, without any original recordings of the show, we don't know what music the show originally used. I mean, the script itself simply says train theme and whistles. Now, I figure it would have been a pipe organ. They were common back then. Here's an example. The Hammond electric organ that you associate with the later soap operas. That simply wasn't around in 1933. Anyway, I've hunted through some old recordings of organs on the Internet Archive website, and I found something that I think sounds appropriate. And the title is I'm Nobody's Baby, which is even kind of appropriate itself. So that's going in for the music. The sound effects back in the 30s were mostly done live, and we keep a garage full of stuff that we can use for sounds. Anything that will work is fair game. Some of it's pretty straightforward. You know, if somebody needs to be walking, they can be walking, on the pavement. But other times in a hobo story, they're walking more in gravel. Sometimes they're walking in the bushes. Keep an old bag of leaves for that. Sometimes they're even just walking in kind of the grass. Let's see. This being a hobo story, we've got various utensils that they're eating out of, and at one point there's a little bit of a fire going where they're frying up some bacon. Wouldn't be a hobo story about the railroads without trains, so we have a I know, it's a bit cheesy, but there you go. And sometimes sounds are actually what you think they are. Some scissors. Our 15-minute show needs a couple of lengthy sound effects in the background to establish the ambience. There is a train yard where they're switching and the hobos are. For that, back in the 30s, they turned to these old shellac 78s, which had sound effects recorded on them that were too hard to make by hand. This is one of them. This is a Gennett sound effect record of railroad or terminal sounds. Hasn't been played probably in about 90 years. So let's see what we get with this. And there we are, right in the freight yard for our characters. Perfect. The next step is a rehearsal with all the music and the sound effects added. And then a few days later, we meet up one last time for our recording session. And here's just a bit of how that went down. Good evening.
Hello.
I can hear you. That's good.
Great.
Always a good sign.
Yes, it is.
Well, how have you been?
Doing pretty good.
I'm right here.
Levitate a woman.
Well, you still look great.
Thank you.
And he sounds good, too. All right. Hello, Kim.
Hey.
Or Frisco, as I should call you. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hello, David, by the way.
Hello.
Okay, there he is there. I just want to get a little sound check there.
Just scarfed down dinner, and here I am.
All right, then. That being the case, it's going to start cold with David, and let me see. Let me see. I can never decide whether the train theme should start or the whistle should start first. I think it's going to be whistle, music, and then macaroni. So let's try it in that order. You everybody ready?
Scissors, but they're silent.
This is new silent radio acting. Okay. I got the real ones, and you got the ones to help you with the drama. Okay. Stand by, David. When you are ready, we'll see if we can get this going.
Wayfaring Men. Wayfaring Men, the story of the nameless thousands who shuttle endlessly across these United States, riding the rails, panhandling their food and shelter, an unknown army without a goal.
This is quite a town. I wonder what Al's doing.
Oh, he's all right. He'll be after you as soon as he gets out. That's tomorrow, if I reckon right.
But how will he find me?
If he's with Blackie and Joe and all that gang, they'll find out where I am. Somebody in some jungle will know where I am. That's you'll be.
Nice kid you got there. Is he good at the panhandling game?
Yes. Pretty good, but green yet. I usually hustle the chow for us till he gets on to the ways.
You wouldn't like to swap him for this one I got, would you?
Nix. I'm satisfied.
My kid Freckles is good, but he gets homesick now and again. Gets to bawling at night sometimes.
Now, don't talk like that, Frisco. You'll get me in bad with these guys. I was sick that night. Honest, I was, Frisco.
Homesick. That's the kind of sick you were.
I'll teach that little crybaby to hold his mush.
Where you going, Slim?
I'm gonna get out of here. You can go back to your dear little stiff Al. I'm out of the picture.
Slim, don't leave me. Oh, don't go away. Slim, don't leave me.
All right. Well done. Well, we got basically one little edit there. Oh, and while I'm thinking of it, and it wasn't your fault, Jack, but there is a page, middle of page 7. It was a Zoom moment, and it's your friendly line that he says readily. Do you honest? Can I just have you read that once for me, real quick?
And by the way, I've been recording myself here.
Oh, well then if you want to send it to me, I've got it there.
It might even be better just to have it in the moment then.
Okay. Well, I think that went very well. So we're done, right? Not a bit. Maybe in 1933 we would have been done. 1933, of course, that would have been a live national broadcast. And at this point, Archie Coates and his cast of actors would be starting to think about their Thursday performance in the Thursday episode. But in the 21st century, techniques and technologies are a little bit different. We're all in different locations. We're all in different home studios in different states, even different countries. And so the sound that each one of us has is not well matched. Not like 1933, where every actor was around a single mic in a single studio at the same time. Fortunately, Zoom allows us to deal with that. It can record a separate audio track for each actor, kind of like a modern recording studio. And when we do that, then I can take those tracks and balance them, equalize them, match them, and mix them. And for that, I use an app called DaVinci Resolve. I spend a lot more time with this editing program than you might expect. Heck, I spend a lot more time than I expect in it. But in order to get the sounds of the show as legitimate possible, that's what it takes. It's still the original performance, always. But there are moments where I need to balance the levels, equalize or filter, or otherwise treat them in some small way. Sometimes I need to correct the quality or timing of a sound effect. Things like that. Let's just see.
What you got down there?
Yeah, that's better. Okay. And then, of course, there's also the video part. Because watching plain Zoom meetings is boring, we try to add just a bit of video enhancement. Sometimes that's a bit more than a little video enhancement. In this case, I have picked out various and sundry movies, vintage movies of hoboes and the American Depression, and I'm assembling those to go in the background as a way of enhancing the story that we're going to be watching and listening to. On most shows, editing takes me a day or two. This one took me about that time, and this introduction that you've been watching has taken me quite a bit more. But it's a special way to end this season of Project Audion. We hope you enjoyed it. Oh, there's one more thing I always do before we start the show. Last thing I usually do is go out on location somewhere and record a bit, of an intro and set up for that. And so let's see how it all turns out. Let's start over from the beginning, please. This is Project Audion, timeless audio dramas for modern times, created the classic way.
Hello, I'm Larry Groby with the Generic Radio Workshop. And this time we're going to reach back, way back in audio drama history, back to the earliest days of network radio. Our show this time is a lost show called Wayfaring Men. And almost nothing is known about it, which is really too bad because it's a fascinating premise. It was the story of the men and occasional women who were hoboes, who rode the rails across America. And this was during the Great Depression, so it was very timely. Now, Wayfaring Men aired on CBS for 15 minutes, 2 nights a week in the summer of 1933, and I don't think it went much longer than that. There's very few episodes available. The creator was a gentleman named Archie Coates. He was a staff writer at CBS. He'd been a published poet, and he was an all-around romantic soul. Publicity at the time claimed that he had actually ridden the rails himself, gathering material and ideas that would later work its way into the show. Now, being that this is a serial, we're coming in at episode 8. But don't worry, the announcer will fill you in on everything you need to know. So just sit back, relax, and enjoy as Project Audion's North American cast recreates the lost radio series, Wayfaring Men.
Wayfaring Men. Wayfaring Men, the story of the nameless thousands who shuttled endlessly across these United States, riding the rails, panhandling their food and shelter, an unknown army without a goal. When we last left our transient friends, the girl Easter and her self-appointed squire, Swanee Slim, you remember that Slim had been obliged to risk her safety on the throw of a dice. Chance, in the shape of a quick-witted young colored hobo, saved her as her unwelcome admirer was thrown off the moving train. The trio has just rolled into Kansas City, and Slim and Easter are standing on a corner in an outlying section.
Now we're here, kid. Let's hot-foot it for that jungle.
Oh, I'm kind of afraid to go there, even with you. I wish I had the other clothes again. Being a boy is lots simpler.
Well, maybe I can promote you some duds on the way. Now, look at those backyards, for instance. Often I've found a good shirt just hung out there on the line for some unfortunate guy to help himself to. Too bad it isn't Monday. Lots of washes out Mondays.
Well, how would I know it fit?
Say, you'll never grow up to be a good hobo, will you? If it fits. Say, I've seen times when I'd be glad of any shirt, any kind of shirt, whether it fitted or not. And we've got to find a pair of pants for you besides.
I've still got the shoes. The woman didn't have any shoes to fit me, so she let me keep the ones I had, and I need a cap.
Oh, I can get you those easy enough. Say, there's a 10-cent store right across the street there. You stay here a minute. Let me go over there alone. I'll be right back.
Shall I stay right here on the corner?
Nah, go look in the windows of that music store there. And don't talk to no strangers, and no friendly guys, mind you. Remember that, to be a real beau, practically everyone is hostile. Till you find out different. Now stick here.
All right, but please don't be long.
Hello, baby. Oh, I see you like music. Pardon me, pretty baby. Very appropriate song. You a stranger in town?
I beg your pardon?
Oh, don't be chilly. It's too early for a movie, but wouldn't you like someone to show you the sights of our big city? Listen, little girl, anyone as pretty as you ought to be more friendly. But maybe you got a date.
I wish you'd go and leave me alone.
Oh, don't be that way. You're out west where people are friendly and hospitable. I think we could get to be very good friends if you just...
Please go away, will you?
Well, of course, if you have a date right this minute, you wouldn't want to...
Hello, kid. Have you... Say, what do you want?
Oh, I'm sorry.
You got back just in time. Did you see him skite?
That's your personality, kid. You can't be in town 5 minutes before someone tries to make a break. What did I tell you?
Well, he went anyhow, but didn't you get anything?
Sure I did, under my coat. Let's find some place where there's not a lot of people and I'll break it out. It was a cinch.
What was a cinch?
Getting away with this junk. I just walked in there and in 2 minutes there it was, right under my coat. Just came to Papa like a road kid heading home.
You mean you stole something?
How was I gonna get what you needed? Was I gonna ask for it free gratis? You needed the stuff and I got it. Nobody'll miss it. Now let's find someplace.
What kind of place, Slim?
Some place where we can fix you up. I don't want to take you into another jungle in that outfit. Gee, this alley looks as if it ought to produce something.
It leads right out onto the next street.
Yeah, I know, but there's backyards. And, say, there's luck. Looky, that pair of pants on the wash line there. And from the way they hang, I know they're all dry. You stick here a second. Well, there you are. The missus was hanging over the gate talking to another dame. I reaches my arm over the fence, gives a good jerk, and here you are, kid. Now, see that car parked over there? The sedan, I mean.
Yes?
Well, that's your room. Miss Molly O'Reilly of the Follies, that's your dressing room. And your barber shop.
Barber shop?
Yeah, kid, you're gonna get a haircut.
But what with? And suppose the man comes out that owns the car.
He won't. Can't you see he's got the window closed up by the wheel? That means he's gonna be away sometime. Get in and get your haircut.
What with, Slim? You can't do it with a pocket knife.
Say, do you take me for an amateur? What do you think I got under me coat? Look.
Scissors?
Sure, right out of the 5 and 10. Here's a cap for you. Boy's baseball cap. That'll cover up the job I do. I'll stick around here a minute and lay chicky, and you climb into them pants.
But I can't put 'em on and wear this dress top with 'em.
Gee, you certainly ain't got no eyes. Look at that sweater in the back seat there.
But that's stealing, isn't it?
Leave him the dress. It's good as new. And his old lady'll have a present. Ain't that business? Business is where you swap something you can't use for something you can. Now go along.
Well, you watch out for the man.
Don't worry, I will.
Well, how does it look?
Swell. Now let me add that hair.
Ouch! Take it easy, please, Slim. You pulled my hair.
Oh, I didn't mean to hurt you, kid. I didn't hurt you much, did I?
Oh, I was just nervous. Are we going to leave all these locks around here in the car?
Why not? Say, wouldn't it be a hot one if the guy was a married guy and we went home and his lady saw all these ringlets on the deck and thought he'd had some Jane out for a ride? Say, I'd like to see his face.
Well, we can't do that. I'll brush him out as best I can. There. That's not so bad. How does it look now?
You look swell. You don't exactly look like a boy, but maybe we can get away with it. Did you leave the dress?
Uh-huh. Yes. Now where... Gee. It's good to be back in these again. I don't feel so very self-conscious.
You look swell. Now, let's mosey out to that jungle.
This is quite a town. I wonder what Al's doing.
Oh, he's all right. He'll be after you as soon as he gets out. That's tomorrow, if I reckon right.
But how will he find me?
If he's with Blackie and Joe and all that gang, they'll find out where I am. Somebody in some jungle will know where I am. That's you'll be.
Well, I guess you're right, Slim. I'd go anywhere with you after last night and everything.
Would you now? You ain't just pulling the soft stuff?
Honest, I'm not. The way you looked after me and all.
Yeah, and the way that southern boy looked after the both of us. What a break that was.
He was a real hero. Scared as he was and all.
I wasn't so much. But I guess you're like all women, always wanting to admire something. Now, look alive. Come down this way.
Towards the tracks there?
Yeah, there's a bridge here, and under there, on the bank, there ought to be some sort of a roost.
Under all those oak trees?
That's the place. Take it easy. The footing ain't so good. Here, step over this way. Come on, right behind me. Just in time to scoff?
Right you are. There's enough here for you both, you and your kid, too. Make place there, Freckles. Let the other couple of folks in.
All right, Pop. Here's the place.
Gee, that bacon smells great. Plenty of Joe?
I'll say we have. The kid here promoted this junk, and he's got away with the women of the house.
It was my first job panhandling, too.
He's good, he is. With no experience to get eggs and bacon, and one give him a cup full of ground coffee. He didn't even have to snivel hardly.
You haven't been on the road long then.
Huh? Not so very long. You're the first guy anywhere near my own age that I've met.
I guess I'm older than you at that.
No, you ain't. I'm 17, going on 18.
So am I. Guess that makes us cousins or something, doesn't it?
Come on, kid, never mind the old home week stuff. Get some hot Joe under your belt.
Hey, ain't I ever seen you in the East somewhere? You look familiar.
I've been east all right. I've been everywhere, almost.
Well, I seen you somewhere. But you didn't have a road kid with you then. Nice kid you got there. Is he good at the panhandling game?
Yes. Pretty good, but green yet. I usually hustle the chow for us till he gets onto the ways.
You wouldn't like to swap him for this one I got, would you?
Nix. I'm satisfied.
My kid, Freckles, is good. But he gets homesick now and again. He gets to bawling at night sometimes.
Now, don't talk like that, Frisco. You'll get me in bad with these guys. I was sick that night. Honest, I was, Frisco.
Homesick. That's the kind of sick you were. Oh, help yourself to the bacon, partner. There's only 4 of us to eat it.
Sometimes a fella does get homesick. Frisco, I do sometimes.
Do you? Do you honest?
Sure, why not? The road's all right, but there's times a fella wants somebody, I don't know.
Oh, I think you're right, pal. What do they call you?
That don't matter. He's the Iowa Kid. That's enough for you to call him.
That's right. Iowa?
That's right.
Right from the Corn Belt he is. Ain't you, kid? Right out of the tall grass.
Now, big boy, as I was saying, if you'd like to swap, then maybe you could train this kid of mine out of his weeps. Though I can stand anything but that. Gee, didn't you bring no extra water up?
I thought we were so close to the river and all of that.
I'll go and get it.
No, you won't. Let him.
We'll both go, won't we, Freckles?
Sure we will. Come ahead. Look out, it's slippery here. Watch the mud.
I will. Say, I guess you're almost as green as I am in all of this, aren't you?
Oh, I ain't been on the road so long. Listen, I can trust you, can't I?
Sure. I liked you from the minute I saw you. You can trust me, what?
Oh, let's sit down a minute. He's right. Frisco is. I do get homesick. Now you know it. You can laugh at me if you want to.
I'm not laughing. I get homesick too.
17? That was hooey. What I said a while back there. I'm not 17. Only Frisco thinks I am. I'm only 15. Is it okay to get homesick when you're 15?
It sure is. Why, I still do at 17. Why don't you go home?
Huh? Go home? Why, my old man will whale the life out of me.
How'd you come to leave in the first place? Have a fight?
Well, kinda. It was this way. My old lady, see, she's a strict church-going woman, and she wanted me to go to church twice on Sunday. My old man, he don't care. He don't have to go himself. He just sleeps late and then reads the funnies most of all afternoon. But he says I gotta do what she tells me.
Well, it wasn't so hard to please her, and it's hard on the road.
You telling me? I ain't been out only a couple of months now, and the first one's pretty cold. The spring's raw up in the north then.
Yes, I know. And then it rains lots.
Brother, I'll say it does. Why, I laid under a shed or two a whole day's back up there in Illinois, and it never lets up. And I didn't eat because I was near anywhere. I've been in a car they left on the side and right out in the sticks.
Were you alone?
Yeah, I started out hitchhiking cars, you know, and the guy gave me a lift as far as a place called Rockport. I figured I might go to Shy and get me a job there, but I hopped a freight. It took me the wrong way. And here I was, left on a siding.
And then what happened?
Well, I footed it to the first burg I could come to after it let up raining, and then had a hot dog stand there, and I was flatter a steamroller been over me. Tried to put the bum on the guy there for a handout. Frisco heard me. He was there at the time, and since we've hit the rattlers and the jungles together, he taught me the ropes, and he's an all right guy, in his way.
But why does he want to swap you for me with Slim?
Is that your guy's name? Slim? Not Swanee Slim.
Surely. Why?
Oh, Swanee Slim. Why, you're in luck, boy. Gee, I've heard about that guy. Lots of bums has. He's one of the biggest ladies' men on the road. Does he get the women?
Yes.
Oh, does he? Why, if Frisco knew Slim was Swanee Slim...
Hey, you coming with that water? What you doing down there? Holding old home week?
Come on, you kids.
We're coming.
We was just trying to find some place where it weren't Riley.
Now, move along. Suppose you scrub up those tins and things while I go and rustle me up some tobacco. You didn't bring me no tobacco this morning.
Well, they wouldn't give it to me. They know I'm too young to smoke.
Well, I gotta go and get myself something.
Go ahead, and if you can spike a little for me, do it, will you? Take your kid if you want to. I will clean it up here, won't you, kid?
Sure. Go ahead, Freckles. I'll fix everything up.
Iowa. Be seeing you. Ready, Frisco?
You betcha, kid. Now, first we'll go hit up the tobacco store, then we'll go see if the little milk can get
Slim! Slim!
Yeah?
I feel safe around here. What'd you think of them? What's the matter, Slim? You're quiet.
I don't feel so good. That's all. It's nothing.
You're not sick.
Nah. I don't like the way that guy Frisco talked about swapping his begging kid for you.
Oh, now...
Well, I don't, see? I think he's on to you. And, well, if I gotta keep licking guys all the time, you better get back to Al.
Oh, Slim, don't talk that way. He didn't mean anything.
You was talking down there in the bushes with that kid, too. Plotting something.
We were not.
He was talking his guy up, I know, and knocking me.
He wasn't. All he said was that you were famous for your women.
Oh, he did he? If I get my hands on that brat, I'll bust his backbone in two.
Don't talk like that, Slim.
Well, I will, see? I'll teach that little crybaby to hold his mush.
Where you going, Slim?
I'm gonna get out of here. You can go back to your dear little stiff Al. I'm out of the picture.
Slim, don't leave me. Oh, don't go away. Slim, don't leave me.
Well, is Slim going to leave Easter in the jungle to find her way back as best she can? We'll have to see next time. You have just heard another episode of Wayfaring Men, written by Archie Coates. Your announcer is David Reese. We shall present the next episode next Thursday evening at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. This is a Columbia Broadcasting System.
That's where episode 8 of Wayfaring Men ended. But do stay tuned for just a bit more information on what happened next. Our cast this time included Trevor Rhines in Toronto, Canada, Donna Patton in Tennessee, Kim Titus in Texas, Jack Ward in Nova Scotia, and David Reese in Georgia. And if you haven't guessed, I'm Larry Groby, who produced, directed, and played the part of the masher. Project Audion loves recreating these lost shows from the classic days of 20th century audio drama. We hope you enjoy watching and listening to them. If you do, please like this episode. Then share it with a friend so more people can enjoy it. Heck, you can even visit the Project Audion website and write us about it. And as ever, thanks for listening. I pulled out script number 10, which is the one after they all go off to Gallifrey and come back. But anyway, I thought you'd be interested in the intro and briefly my synopsis. Let's see. The story of America's drifters, riding our freights by night, loafing in hobo jungles by day, a baffled army without a base or a goal. He's getting more political here. In the previous broadcast, you recall, the girl Easter Morrison had... You didn't know your last name, did you? Easter Morrison had fled from her tight-fisted guardian, accompanied by her small-town sweetheart Al. On a freight train, they had met Swanee Slim, affable, kindly young Knigget of the road, and Slim had undertaken to look after Easter when Al was arrested for kidnapping her. Upon Al's release for lack of evidence, I guess that's actually episode 9, he had heard in Omaha that the girl and Slim were in a Kansas City hobo jungle and had set out by hopping a freight to find them. In the meantime, Slim in a sudden realization that he was in love with Easter, had left her, which as one does, and expressed his intention of following his own way alone. And that is the way matters stand tonight, with Easter in the jungle. Suddenly I want to play jungle drums. Boom, 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 boom. And the Tookie Bird. Facing the... Exactly. Yes, I've got that clip. That's on freesound.org, the original. Facing the realization that she must shift for herself without the aid of the gallant Slim. So anyway, during the episode, she meets a hobo, Red, who I think is mentioned briefly in ours, who tells her a bit about what's up with boyfriend Al, and who outs her as the girl to Frisco and Freckles. So they now know. Yeah, Frisco and Red thus end up at loggerheads, and Easter decides not to leave with Red, who goes off on his own in anger anyway. Easter ultimately decides to strike out on her own for Al, but in her closing dialogue, it seems she's still maybe carrying a torch for Slim. So, there you go.